when I was a young boy. I remember watching Borneo on TV. It seemed so exotic, so far removed from my own personal reality. It was somewhere I would probably never go, never see, certainly never live, certainly never work there. Just the name itself, Borneo, conjures up so many images. And yet, here, 30 years later, however many years it is, I find myself living and working, existing in Borneo, in Sarawak, Kuching. It's hard to talk about it without... It's hard to talk about how does it feel to live and work as an expat in Kuching without talking about my life, how things have changed. Everything is holistically connected, obviously.
Initially, I just applied for a job in Malaysia. I saw a job with the British Council, and I had no idea that I'd be posted to Borneo. I remember going to the British Council office in Kuala Lumpur, and a guy walking up to me and saying, "Are you Peter?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, you're coming to Kuching in Sarawak," and I went, "Oh, I don't know where Sarawak is." So it was completely by accident that I ended up in Kuching and in Borneo. I guess my interest in nature comes from growing up in a national park. I'm from the North Yorkshire Moors, tiny little village. So when you were a kid, you had to amuse yourself. So we would play in the river and play in the farmer's field and chase after wildlife there. And I think when you grow up in a place that's surrounded by nature, it gets into your system. This is a place called Lobang Batu, which is near the border of Kalimantan. Over there's a very unique hill inside a beautiful cave. It's all limestone here. We've come here this early in the morning, just before the sun gets up. So we'll see the butterflies around hopefully about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And they'll need the heat to get their wings up.
Why did I come here? Well, when I was a nipper, I'd see David Attenborough, things about Borneo, so I always wanted to live in Borneo, and I do. When I did come here, I met a beautiful Bidayu girl, which is a headhunter, local tribe, Dayak tribe, and that cemented the agreement. To say the least. But then having a Bidayu girlfriend, a headhunter, a local person, to go out with and teach me. They teach you a lot. They teach you what you can eat, what you can dig for, what you can do. what you don't need. That's one thing I was thinking the other day. It's like, people think in the Western world what they need, and when you live here, you think what you don't need. So you don't need nothing, la. And you go in the river and have a mandi or a bath and stuff like that. People go in their house. They if they're Bidayu and they're Christian, they got a picture of Jesus Christ or the heart, whatever, on the wall, and like some just wooden furniture and nothing. So why do I need this, that, and the other? You know, I won't even start on that one. Otherwise, I might get upset. But you don't need anything.
I think I fell in love very quickly the first few months of being here. There's something magical about the place. And it's hard to put my finger on exactly what it is. I suppose it links back to my own personal history. Being a botanist, having a love of plants, trees, coming to somewhere like Borneo, it's the fulfillment of a dream. I arrived here as an English teacher or an English teacher trainer. That's been my chosen profession for the last 10 years or so of my life, moving around and travelling around, living in different countries. And I kind of assumed this was just going to be another job. I arrived here with my partner, with my girlfriend at the time. My girlfriend and I decided to quit our jobs for various reasons, which I don't particularly want to go into at the moment. We just found ourselves unhappy and frustrated, so we made the decision to quit our jobs. And my girlfriend decided she wanted to carry on with her teaching career, and so she left and went to a different country. And I decided to try and make a go of it here. And 2 years later, I find myself not a teacher. I find myself making bread, making chili sauces. I find myself growing vegetables, chillies especially, I find myself doing lots of photography, and I'm broke, but it's hard to imagine actually being happier than I am at the moment, and more content and less stressed. I don't think I've been this unstressed in many, many, many years, if ever. I suppose everything that I've ever held dear in life, everything I've given value to, and think is actually worth doing, I do here in Borneo. Maybe it's me, the state of mind in which I exist here in this place makes this place perfect.
I haven't always been interested in butterflies. It's something that's grown out of living here, actually. And the more I've read about butterflies, the more I've learnt about them, and the more fascinated I've become in terms of the diversity, their methods of survival. But I think the most interesting thing for me about butterflies is the way that they show how healthy an environment is. So if you go to a place and you can't see any butterflies, you realize that environment's not healthy at all. Here, for example, if you go in a palm oil plantation, you won't see butterflies, you won't hear any birds, because it's just not a diverse environment. I think this sort of place has really kind of encouraged me to do the things that I really want to do and that I'm passionate about. I came here as a teacher, and now I'm going back to work in a national park. And I don't think I wouldn't have made that decision if I hadn't have come here and I hadn't have experienced what this place has got to offer. I think that the butterflies and my interest in them has just given me that way in to understanding a lot more about the environment that I've been living in for the past few years. I wouldn't have been confident enough to have made that decision to change my career, to go in a completely different direction. But I'm just amazed every time that I go out to different places here, go down to the river, go up these limestone mountains here, to see the abundance of butterflies around, and the different types that you'll see, from the archduked butterflies we saw down by the river feeding on figs, to some of the chocolate albatrosses here, to the common jay butterflies we saw up at the waterfall. There's so much to see that you just get addicted, I think.
I'm lucky that I've got a friend here who's growing the chillies and tending the chillies and looking after them. And so we're hoping to set up a chili business, chili sauce business. We're growing like 40 different varieties of chilies, from the hottest in the world down to some of the mildest, from all over the world. And then we're using those chilies to make our own sauces. And we're hoping to make a business out of it. There's a sense of lawlessness here. One, certainly as an expat, is allowed to get away with virtually anything you want, really. Compared to in the West, where there are so many rules and so many laws and so many people watching you and kind of checking up what you're doing. Here it's the exact opposite. You're very free.
This is James Ritchie's gaff. So all the waifs and strays come here, he picks everything up. Guy's heart is in the right place. Look at that, probably picked it up off the street. Poor little thing. Don't know whether cats like beer actually. No? Glad I'm not in the UK. The RSPCA would be down on me like a ton of bricks. Job done, mate.
Oh yeah. Good. Got here. Get here.
We give it to the people from foreign countries first.
Foreign country. Just like me lah.
I've never seen, but I feel.
I always say that.
I go
I don't
like
see.
camping in jungle.
Where?
Git or Giam.
Oh, Giam. No
Near Giam.
no spirit. No spirit jungle.
Fuck off. Anyway, so near the water. So we put our tent. You know, tent.
Yes, I know.
So me and my sayang sleep in the tent.
And then the midnight. You have the
night. Wait a minute. What, are you telling the story or what?
Wait a minute. You want to learn the story? You must learn the story. Yeah.
You know. So I'm lying there and I go, Jesus H. Christ, I'm having a weird dream, like there's someone stamping on me, like pressure.
Press you in the.
Yes. So then my girlfriend wakes up, said, geez, I'm having a nasty dream that someone's pressing on me. So they were, and then we put a light outside.
I think you just imagining.
No. We went and saw Gladys's mother. She does all the taking the spirits out of people's heads and stuff. Stengang.
Stengang.
She said what you did was you put your tent in a road.
Yeah, in the road. Yeah.
Where the people, where the spirits were going down to get their water and get their things, and they were walking on you.
What on the track?
Exactly. And you go, how? I think that's true, don't you? Why would you feel that? Both have the same dream.
Push their back.
Walking over us. They weren't nasty, but.
But you still believe in it?
Mm-hmm.
Still believe in the...
Well, I certainly believe after things like that.
Yeah.
So tonight's my last night here, and I sort of feel like I've said all my goodbyes already. Kind of anxious to sort of leave now and just sort of go back to England. I think, but I feel really upbeat about going back. Because this place has really given me a particular direction that I want my life to take. If I hadn't lived here, I would never have gone out chasing butterflies most days. So it's really spurred me on living here. And the amount of amazing stuff that you can see in a place like this is absolutely incredible, and that's the saddest I'll be is the way that I can't drive out for 30 minutes and 40 minutes and be surrounded by cicadas and all the different types of butterflies and dragonflies and damselflies and all this amazing stuff. But all this stuff exists everywhere, so that's why it's sort of really, as I say, changed my perspective on things, and my perspective, I think, on what's important as well. I think maybe when I was in my early 20s, I sort of thought, maybe you have to do something really important. You have to be a lawyer or a doctor or a professor or something, Whereas just pursuing some passion that's dormant and latent and inside of you, I think that's the most important thing. And this place has really given me that, So I'm incredibly thankful to have lived here. I am, as I said, although I am upbeat, I'm a little bit nervous about going back to England. I think probably because the identity of England or Great Britain is sort of changing. My identity, I guess, over the last 5 or 6 years has always been global, living in different countries, Mexico, Argentina, etc. Whereas I find the identity of Great Britain becoming quite narrow now, not particularly outward looking, more insular, and that worries me.
And then the opportunity to work in one of the bars here in the kitchen as the chef. That came up, and And things went really well for a while. Business was really good. Feedback from the food was really good, and we kind of rose up the charts on TripAdvisor with positive reviews and positive feedback. Chili in the world, about 10 years ago in the UK. Yes. For this young man here, and 7-pot red. And then some of the festivals here, the local equivalent of Harvest Festival, that came along. Business dropped off because everyone goes back to their hometown. And then shortly after, Ramadan kicked in, so all of our Muslim clients that normally came in to either eat or drink or whatever, they disappeared as well. And so we had like 2 months of really bad business. And sadly, yeah, we had to close the bar, and I was back to square one with no job and no income, and yeah, it's been that way for a while now. And I've recently just made the decision to leave for a while, to go and get a kind of teaching job with my old company, do that for 3-4 months, earn some decent money, and then come back again end of December, try and carry on with the chili business.